I've just turned 17 and I'm from Donegal in Ireland. I have a really supportive family that I get on really well with, and my entire family has been very involved in a local circus company for a number of years, but I'll talk about that in a minute. So, along with my brothers, I have three. I am a very competitive person, and I also hate being told what to do. So those things paired together would look like mum or dad putting a hot dish on the table and saying, don't touch that, it's hot, you'll burn yourself, and me always being the first person to reach for it and burning my hand more than once. But rules are only made to be broken anyway. But with time, the things I got told not to do or to do, they changed from don't do that because you might hurt yourself, and ended up more don't wear that because it's boys' clothes, and don't lift heavy because you're a girl, you don't want to get bulky, you'll look like a boy. Or my personal least favourite, don't lift that, it's too heavy, which is normally followed by like, I'll get a boy to help with that. There's two times that I really remember that stick in my mind of being told I can't do something because I'm a girl. The first time I was around 12 and I was a scout. You know, scouts, they're like, try new things, be adventurous. We had a big space it was one big room, and there was a warehouse out the back, and at the end of one of our sessions once, we were asked to move all the stuff from the room, like all the chairs and the sofas, and put them into the back. So I helped lift a bunch of the folding chairs and brought them in, and then I came back to lift a sofa, one side of a sofa with another guy who was there. At which point my male scout leader stepped in and said, no, don't lift that, Eve, I'll get one of the boys to do it. He then turned around to go find someone to help, and I lifted it anyway, and that made me, my competitive self, very happy, and I was like buzzing afterwards. Because being told not to do something because of an unchangeable fact about yourself is awful, it's horrible. But being able to do it anyway just makes you feel great. But unfortunately there are circumstances which makes the whole doing it anyway thing really hard, or in some cases impossible. Like I mentioned before, my family are very involved in a local circus company. I work for them, I help teach. My brother also helps teach, and he, as well as helping to teach, he also helps build our big top tent, which we hire out to different companies. My dad doesn't do that so much anymore, but when he was more involved, that's what he did as well. But there was one night at dinner, my dad and my brother were talking about the tent they had to build the next day and the site they were going to, and a bunch of the original crew were possibly not going to be able to make it, so who could they bring in to like help and replace them? And they kind of settled on my brother's friends could probably help. My brother's friends and I have a lot in common. Like, we spend a lot of time with my brother and have never built a circus tent before, so I'm just as experienced as them. But whenever I put my hat into the ring and said, well, what about me, could I help? Their immediate reaction was, it's a lot of heavy lifting, which really, really upset me because I've always looked up to my brother and my dad, and my family have never been big on gender roles, so that was like hard to hear. After that, they went on to say it's a lot of swearing and smoking on site. There's never been a girl on the site before, but the fact that their first reaction was it'll be too heavy was really, really hard for me to hear. After food, my dad came into my room and said that if I was really serious, if I really wanted to, I could come. He was sorry for upsetting me. He didn't mean it, but it was clear from like how he was saying it that it was something he thought wasn't a good idea. I would just get in the way. So I didn't go. I wasn't able to do it. And after that, anytime I was in work, I would rather struggle lifting something by myself and doing something on my own than ask someone for help, because if people kind of see me in that way, I'm determined to not at all be in that box and like give in to that. And when someone says, oh, don't lift that, I'll come back and get it in a minute, I will lift it and I will follow them because I can, so why wouldn't I? As a part of FFI, there isn't any of that. We all wear the same things. We all do the same things. We're encouraged to try new things. When we had to help clear the garden the other day, I was able to lift the heavy logs and no one was like, oh wait, maybe don't do that because you know you're a girl. Everyone was able to get involved. FFI has been great for giving us tools to engage with community members in ways that I wouldn't really have thought to before, and I want to use those skills when I go back home to try and engage and like get involved in some of the women's groups that are in Ireland / Northern Ireland around where I live. I hate being put into a box that says I can't do something, and I never want to be the type of person who does that to other people.